Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Kubera chapters 36 onward. Gonna split this section in two, so I'm either gonna do 36 through 38 or 39. If I get to the end of 38 and I'm like, okay, that's a good place to end for this video, then we'll end there. If not, I'll go ahead and do 39. But yeah, either way, I'm midway through working on the review, but it's like a section with like 9 chapters, so it's gonna be kind of a longer review. And since I was working on that, I was trying to get it done and trying to get it done. And I was like, it's probably going to take 2 more days. So instead of having you wait 2 more days, I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and do a reaction really quick because that'll just take a couple of hours. And then you can have this reaction while you wait. Like I'm posting this Saturday, the review will probably be like Monday. So yeah, review's gonna take a couple more days, but I wanted to give you something while you were waiting, so gonna do the reaction here. Same with ORV, gonna do the same thing for ORV. Gonna attempt to post both reactions today, so ORV will be in like later today. I might give it a few hours just to let this video breathe for a while before I post another one. But yeah, just wanted to let you know what was going on with this. Also, right as I went to record, I just remembered I didn't make the things to put in the corner that says chapter whatever. So I'm just not gonna bother with it because I always like use the video chapters feature to like make video chapters to say where one ends and the next begins and everything anyway. Plus, like I've been doing with Tower of God, I'll try to remember, I think again I only get like 20 panels of video, or maybe is it 20 panels per chapter per video? I don't know. I don't know the exact number, but either way I'll try to show a little bit more if there's anything I'm talking about, but in the end I just figured like with anything you watch reactions for, like most people, you're not allowed to show stuff. So you can just follow along on your own. But yeah, wanted to get all that out of the way. Review's coming, but I wanted to do a reaction while you were waiting. So let's continue. This one is The Past I Yearn For. Alright, so it looks like we're getting a flashback and we're cutting away from what was going on like right now in the story. It starts with, my father had 3 close friends. One of them was a primeval god, and the other 2 were Gnostica. So the Gnostica are like the first, like, sort of heads that the other Ashura are descended from. So I guess the primeval gods are like maybe similar, but for the god side of things. And we see, oh, okay, we get an explanation right below it. 4 gods that were in existence before even the creation of the universe. Although they're gods, they don't take the sides of the gods. All 4 of them have different opinions about the war between the gods and the Suras. They were so close that when one couldn't care for their child, the other ones would be entrusted to care for the child. And we have chapter 36, The Past I Yearn For, 1. I'll ask Vishnu to take care of the 3rd, Shuri for the 2nd child, and Gandharva to take care of my 1st child, Marana. And so we can assume that's Garuda then? Gandharva. I had only seen him from afar. It was my first time seeing him face to face. Ah, it's good that you came, Marana. My daughter talks about you all day long. I was thinking which of the 3 children to take, but she insisted on bringing you. It seems that you guys playing together made you 2 so much closer, huh? And we have Gandharva, age, a bunch of question marks. Gandharva tribe, Gnostica. Damn it. Is Shakuntala trying to get me killed? No, she just has no idea that her father is such a devil king. Marana, age, 3 question marks. Garda tribe, Rakshasa. 2nd stage of development. But it's okay. For now, as long as Shakuntala doesn't act as if we're best friends or something, I may be able to live. Wow, it's Marana! We have Shakuntala 2 question marks. Gandharva tribe, Rakshasa, and I wonder if the exact, like, digit amount of question marks is important since they are specifically different amounts. Gandharva tribe, Rakshasa, 2nd stage of development. Ta-da! I made you a necklace as a welcome present. Wow, you look so pretty with this. I should write my will first. Wait, are you trying to kill me? You want me to stay here in human form? What? I can't hear you. If you can't handle that, Agni will kill you in one hit. But why do I have to train in human form? That's because training in human form helps your development. I thought that Gandharva was just letting his anger out on me, but after hearing that this will help my development, I had a change of heart, thinking that this could help me after all. I've been thinking that this could help me. After all, I've been stuck in the same stage of development for hundreds of years. But everything was BS. I was just rolling around over and over without any signs of development. So, interesting, this is from Marina's point of view. Just when I started to think that I was being fooled by him. Marina, how do I look? Shakuntala, age 3 ? Again, showing the passage of time, I would assume. Gandharva tribe Rakshasa, 3rd stage of development. Gandharva, you said that my training would help my development, right? Yes, I did. Then why did a flower-picking, clumsy girl like that develop before me? Even if each Shura has different conditions for their development, this just isn't fair. Shakuntala developed so easily without having to do anything, but what about me? I love her in the background. Gosh, this is so annoying. All of this suffering was for nothing and it's no fun. And I'm sick of this. I miss my mom and my siblings, except my dad. I wish I could just skip over this annoying part of my life. Can't I just fast forward the time to my 4th stage of development? And then we see Shakuntala looking over to him. You shouldn't say things like that. Oh, now you're trying to teach me? Just because you got a bit taller. You think you can push me around, huh? And we've seen before where, like, trying to guess what the title means is sometimes kind of difficult, because sometimes it can actually refer to, like, multiple things. But I wonder, since we're seeing from Marna's point of view, since he hates this part of his past is what we're getting here, and we know that he's working with Gandharva, and Gandharva's ultimate goal seems to be all about finding his daughter or getting his daughter back. It seems that because of that, this, like, the title might refer to Marina's feelings, where Marina didn't appreciate the time when it was there, and now Shakuntala's gone, and that's why he's still working with Gandharva now, and this is the past he yearns for. Then, even the moments which seem to be meaningless, once they've passed, you can never live that moment again. Realizing too late how precious those moments were would be so sad, don't you think? And then, so sad, huh? But Shakuntala, the past I yearn for isn't the time I spent with you. The upheaval occurred while I was with you, and I became unable to see my mother and siblings ever again. Okay, so the upheaval, I'm assuming then, must have, like, trapped people between the, well, either his mother and siblings died in the upheaval, maybe that's what he means by it, or I was going to say maybe there's some sort of veil, because we know that the gods, like, fled back to their world, and now they can't come to the human world without being summoned. So I was like, maybe the same thing happened with the world of the Shuras, where some Shuras are trapped on one side, but the Shuras that are on Earth are basically trapped on Earth. But maybe it's just that they died, which is, like, simpler. I miss your smile, but what I miss the most is my family. The past I yearn for is the time I spent with my family. Your father is probably feeling the same. Just like how much I miss my family, your father must be missing you. Although he seems worse off than me, judging by our current forces situation, we cannot attack Rintalo. Atera relies closely upon its closed space for protection, so there will be no problem if we break through that space. But Rind Hollow not only has 2 layers of closed space, but it also has so many magicians. I see. You also want me to attack Atera. So it's interesting. So this is, I assume, before the attack then? The attack on Atera? That we saw earlier in the series. But also mentioning before, because we know Atera only has 1 priest. But the fact that they made such a big deal about Atera only having 1 means that the others, like at least many of them, probably have more than one. So Rintalo has two. Also, I'm pretty sure from the the Brilith and Asha flashbacks that Rintalo was like the capital of the magic stuff, but I don't 100% remember. So again, would make sense why they said there are so many magicians. But let's worry about that later. If we find Shakuntala, the gate which we will open today, there will be no need to attack Rintalo. But the possibility of that happening is highly unlikely. The gate opened many times until now, and many Suras have gotten through. But out of all of those Suras, none of them had known her whereabouts. That's true, but this time's different. We won't be asking the ones that got through. I'll go through the gate and find her myself. You're going to go through. Of course, that would have a better chance, but I don't think he will let you. I've already talked to him, and he's approved. But in order to do that, the gate has to be opened in one place for a long time, instead of opening at many places for a short time. So, I only have one chance. He approved, but he would never do that. Searching for Shakuntala is the only thing that can keep Gandharva by his side. And we see Kubera. If Gandharva goes to the Shura realm, finding Shakuntala will be a piece of cake, since he could search for her in his Shura form. So, again, it seems like what I was thinking might be true. There might just be a veil separating the human and Shura realms, and Gandharva and Marana are stuck here in the human side of things. And that's why he needs to go over to find Shakuntala. And apparently attacking Atera can help make the gate he needs or whatever. When they were saying he approved and stuff, I was wondering if he was lying or not, or if he was talking about Agni. But it's interesting, it actually seems like he was talking about Kubera. But it's nearly impossible that she would still be alive. Will Gandharva return here, even if his daughter's found dead? No, he won't return. Then why would he allow such a thing? What are you thinking about so hard? It's nothing. I should stop worrying about useless things. He's the great Gandharva. He must have thought that I would doubt it. I'll be back after having something to eat, and don't tell me to eat grass. Okay, but don't eat from it, or don't eat anyone from my tribe. Yikes, I wouldn't eat them even if you asked me to. They stink like fish. He's the great Gandharva indeed, but I should have known that he wasn't in any condition to make rational decisions. And we go to another flashback. Shakuntala, I think Dad is mad because you only made one for me. Huh? Daddy is mad. I'll wear mine. I'll make one for you right away, Daddy. Gandharva, please protect Shakuntala. And then we have her screaming, Daddy. Shakuntala, hang in there. Daddy is on his way. So again, it seems like something happened to them where the mother must have been killed then, hence the please protect Shakuntala. And he at least has reason to believe she might be alive on the other side, if he can get back. Rintalo. Yes, the best way to get to Calibloom is to go through Rintalo. I see, Rintalo. Do you know where Rintalo is? Okay, so of course our main characters are going to be going there too. Of course I do. Isn't it the place where you take the magician test? Where you took your test. I know all about it. No, I mean the location. Do you know nothing at all? You have to treat me like some idiot for that? You said it yourself. Asha, I think I'm stupid. Sniff, sniff, sniff. I don't remember that kind of thing for long. But there's no way that Asha would forget things like that. I know. She probably remembers everything I said while crying. But it is strange. I get why she isn't saying anything about me leaving the city. But what about this bracelet? I came back with a lump of metal like this on my arm, but why isn't she asking me anything? Why aren't you asking me anything? Huh? Lise, I haven't told you anything. The reason why I happened to be there when you were in danger, why I rescued you, and why I brought you along with me. There's so many things you would have found suspicious, unless you are really stupid. She might actually be really stupid. But why? Aren't you asking me anything? Did you really not think ahead why Asha was there? I don't expect you to say that it's because you trust me or something that stupid. Tell me, are you really that stupid not to even suspect me? Or do you have something else in mind? And to be continued, but, like, that doesn't hurt my feelings at all because I get to like literally continue right now. That was a really, 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 really good chapter. I've mentioned before how much I love all the characters, how like the real strength of Kubera is in the character work. But Guntarva specifically, I think, is one of the best so far. So to get more like context there, and it feels like not only are we just getting character stuff, like where how the characters feel or how they interact with others, which is a lot of what we've been getting so far. It feels like this gave us a lot of like really concrete stuff about the characters and their goals and what happened to them. But even more so than Guntarva, finally getting a lot for Marina. It feels like coming out of this chapter, I understand them way more than I did even just before this chapter. On top of that, we have some setup, at least for some Lise and Asha stuff. And I'm going to have to get used to, I had been calling her Kubera a lot and Lise interchangeably. But since I was not expecting, I mentioned it, of course, last reaction. I was really not expecting us to get actual God Kubera stuff this early in the story. That, like, I know this is like over 500 chapters long. This feels like something like the actual God Kubera stuff that would come in hundreds of chapters down the line. I didn't expect it this early, but since we're getting stuff and the God Kubera doing things this early, I need to get used to calling God Kubera Kubera and human Kubera Lise. Because it seems like that's what most of the, like what comments have said most of the fan base does anyway. So yeah, really good setup for stuff with them next chapter. And I'm excited because The Past I Yearn For had a lot to do with Marina and his family. And also, again, multiple meanings with Guntarva and his family. But I guess you could also extend it to other characters. But this goes on for, I believe, 7 chapters. So it's interesting that this title will still be like applicable to what's going on for the next 6 chapters. So it makes me really curious. But yeah, either way, gonna move on to, what is it, 37 next? Alright, on to 37. I don't care what you think. That was the only thing she said. There were no more explanations. And we get a shot with, it looks like this is way back when the destruction first happened, when Asha and Kubera met. A strong and smart, but an unfriendly magician. However, she was telling me the truth when she said she would protect me. Chapter 37, The Past I Yearn For, 2. What do you mean ask? Don't you remember you dragging me here saying that my thoughts don't matter to you? I know for sure that you would make me go to Calibloom even if I didn't want to, right? Of course, there's a lot I'm curious about, but I don't want to ask. I'll just wait quietly, so you tell me when you want to. Sorry, like, if I ever get tripped up, sometimes, I mean, if you watch any like read-through videos of people reading things, sometimes it just happens. But also, like, the translation isn't always 100% perfect grammatically, so sometimes I get a little bit tripped up. I generally am like just editing it in my head to like speak properly when I'm speaking out loud, but then sometimes a sentence will like throw me off because the grammar is off. But you get my point. Even if the grammar's off, it's one of those things where generally it's like, I get what you're saying. It's like with comments and stuff. Like, I have been a citizen of the internet for a long time. So I'm used to talking to a bunch of people where English isn't their first language. So it's like, even if it's not like perfect, it's like you get what they're saying. But yeah, either way, continuing on. I don't care if you think that I'm just mooching off of you because I have nowhere else to go. It's true anyway. You're the only person who I can call someone I know. Even if you are a devil, I think I'm gonna follow you. To tell you the truth. And then she waits. Never mind. Huh? The truth? What about the truth? Finish what you were saying. Forget it. Let's go eat. You were just about to say something. Why are you making me more curious by finishing like that? God is unfair. What? The truth is that God is unfair? That's just common sense. It's obvious just by comparing our faces. That isn't the problem. So you do admit the fact that you have a nice looking face. Wait for me to get down. Let's go together. And then, Howie, landing failure. I think I sprained my ankle. Asha, please tend to my wounds. Why did you go up there in the first place? If you can crawl to the restaurant, I'll heal you. And we have sniffling face. All of these Kubera panels are Lee's panels. I'm so used to calling her Kubera. All of these Lee's panels are super cute. You're so mean. You're a jerk. Okay. And then, Asha, truthfully, it's not that I won't ask, it's that I can't. If I ask something that I shouldn't and end up making you leave me, then I really will be left all alone. That is true. Asha is eating the food that I cooked. Kya kya. Oh, I forget. She was one of my favorites. Why do I keep forgetting her name, even though she has the same name as another character from a series I read or something, and that's how I was trying to remember it. Dang it, I really liked her, but every time I do these read-throughs, I forget her name 100% of the time. And then I remember it back when I'm editing or doing a review or whatever because I have to. But then like when I'm back reading, I'm like, I forgot it again. I think it's something, is it Roosh? Something with an R. I think it's Roosh. Like I think it's Ruche, but there was one chapter where they spelled it like Roosh. Being the branch manager of the Magician's Guild must be really leisurely. You're always here at the temple, and you even have the time to cook. Oh my, I had a really busy schedule, but I emptied it just for you. Asha, this is so good. Yeah, it's so good that I might choke while eating it. Not that, this. It's a shame that I couldn't eat the food you were going to make for my birthday present. Huh? What did you say? No, it's nothing. I think you were saying you wanted to taste my cooking. Shut up and eat. And the door opens. Huh? Asha, I know I'm late, but happy birthday. I know, how many years has it been? You've become such a pretty lady. Hello, and we have Lorraine coming in with a new character. What the hell are you doing here, Idy? Scram! Oh, hello, Idy. Pretty lady? Where's the pretty lady? I really wanted to come on your birthday, but because of the Suras, and then the box was stolen. Stop talking about that and give her the present already. This is all because your assistant is so dumb. There are so many valuable items in the shop. You should hire a real magician instead. Truthfully, it's your fault for leaving so carelessly. And anyway, it's all good now since the box was returned. Yeah, but the most important item's missing. Whoever it is, I'm gonna snap their neck when I catch them. And Kubera's probably, oh no, going down. Wow, what's the present? I want to say, not even paying attention that she probably has what was in the box and is in danger. I thought we were gonna get comedy of her trying to hide it. I want to see. And then her arm gets grabbed. This isn't a good place. Let's talk outside. Presumably hiding that she has the bracelet. Huh? But you're still eating, Asha. Why don't you open your present here? I don't feel too good. I want to go for a walk. Please wait here. Asha, let me go with you, says Frush. What the? She could have just said it instead of pushing me over. Right, I knew that purple-haired woman looked familiar. She was the one at the magic store, and we have chapter 27. But why'd Asha push me over? Was it to hide the bracelet? Is there a reason to hide it? I can just show them and tell them I'll return it once it gets off. Or once I get it off. And I don't think Asha even knows about the bracelet. Let's just eat first and think later. Muhaha, it's all mine. My food is mine and Asha's food is also mine. What does Lee's do? She doesn't look like a magician nor a fighter. She seems rather normal. Is she a daughter of a wealthy family or something? Have you been hired to protect her? No, it's for personal reasons. I'm a bit curious. I don't think you'll tell me, right? You've always traveled alone. Isn't it uncomfortable staying with Lee's? Way more comfortable than being with those two. Give up already. I'll never give up. And we have new character whose name I haven't committed to memory yet. And Roosh. Or Idy, that was her name. That's for sure. I thought about your birthday present, and I think you would like this. I'm a fan of... I'm president of Asha's fan club. Wait, stop for a sec. Never. There is no stop. Gosh, Hoti Kubera. Huh? That's cheating. You're not supposed to use magic. You're recorded. This is a fair handicap. You're not the only one who can use magic. I'm going to use it too. Let me just read this. I need to read it as soon as it arrives. Society still exchange diaries with her older brother. Yeah, there's something wrong with those siblings. Howdy, what does it say this time? Is it another episode of him talking bad about Lila? No, not this time, and Lila we met during the flashback too. This is pretty serious. A huge number of Suras are gathering near Rind Hollow. It's as if they're getting ready to attack the city. Most of them are 3rd or 4th stage Maras. He thinks that there are a good amount of Upanis as well. And we have the ranks of Shura go from Nastika to Rakshasa to Upani to Mara, with Nastika being the highest. I wonder then, since this is the ranking, and we saw before in the flashback last chapter that Shakuntala was like a 2nd stage Rakshasa, then a 3rd stage Rakshasa. I wonder if you don't go from like Mara to Upani to Rakshasa, but if it's rather more like how diluted the bloodline is, because of how we know like Nastikas are the originals, the originators that all of the others descend from within their clans. I wonder if then like Rakshasas are direct children like Marana or Shakuntala is what I was assuming last chapter. And then we've seen before, like way back earlier, that Maras were like the base stage. I wonder if it's just like how diluted or how far down the line from Nastika the bloodline is that determines that. But the weird thing is, there aren't any Shuras from Ashura tribe or Ananta tribe, which are the most common ones. Okay. Interesting. They consist of the Garuda, Gandharva, and Yaksha tribe. Sorry, I'm just looking at the different designs. Okay. Those gathering like this only happen when a superior Shura is leading them. The reason I was looking is because they mentioned Ananta and Ashura, and I was wondering, like, if there were only 2 different types of animals, if we could guess what types of animals they were. Because I feel like we can assume that the Garuda tribe, if there is a theme, if there's a theme to it, the Garuda tribe are probably like bird Shuras, and he said that everyone from Gandharva smells fishy, so does that mean that they're fish? Or are they dragons, maybe? In this, because in the panel we have up here, we have 2 bird-like ones. We have one, like, dragon-like one. I guess you could say the second one on the left down there is dragon-like as well. And one, like, fox-looking canine one, a horse one, and a lion one. So I wonder if that has anything to do with the different tribes. But we cut away to see Marana. I don't understand why we have to attack that particular city. Everyone usually tries to avoid the city. Sir Marana, you weren't on this planet during the upheaval, so you don't know how horrible this city is, do you? And we see this must be a relative of his, because it's bird-like and it speaks in gold mental text. Like the, what's the word I'm looking for? The telepathy text that Marana uses, only except this is gold instead of Marana's red. Rind Hollow, the city of darkness and death. They've locked up so many of our race to justify training of their death magic. Oh, right. Because, yeah, to pass the exam and stuff, you had to kill a bunch of Shuras. So, of course, Shuras would probably not like that. And during the upheaval, they summoned the god of darkness and annihilated all the Shuras in the area. So I wonder then, we know they have 2 temples. One of them is maybe the Temple of Darkness, similar to how Atera's was the one of fire. I have heard the story. The priest of darkness at the time summoned the god Chandra. Okay, so Chandra is darkness. And protected the city by eliminating all the Shuras gathered there. But did you know this? The priest who summoned the god also died in an instant. The god Chandra didn't know how the upheaval had changed the summoning system, and used his power as usual, which ended up using up the priest's lifespan. It's almost impossible for there to be someone who can summon a god nowadays, but even if there is, the god won't be able to use his power like before. I see. Then the problem is breaking the 2-layered closed space and fighting the magicians. I'll repeatedly use my transcendental skill to break the closed space, but after that, I'll need some time to recover, so you guys will have to fight without me. Understood. The rest of us are still gathering, Soon we will have around twice the current number. It'll not be easy, but it's not impossible. But we might not need to attack Rindalo if Shakantala is found in the gate, which is opened right now. But that's just an ideal scenario. He cannot be trusted. He might have some tricks up his sleeve, probably again referring to Kubera and why he gave permission. What the? Why would you open the gate before I got here? What are you planning? I opened it just now, and I don't think you have any time to waste to chit-chat. To be continued. Okay, we get to do at least one more for this video, at least one more. That was another really great chapter. I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a waste of time for, like, we know now that Chandra is specifically the darkness god. We already know Agni is fire, and like the gods sort of correlate to the magic that's used in everything. Kubera seems to be used in like body strengthening magic, for the most part it seems like. So again, I don't know if I could just guess what Kubera's is. I feel like, is Vatu wind? I feel like we were already told like the wind one. But yeah, I feel like it's a waste of time for me to sit and guess. It's just something that I'll learn and pick up as we go through the city. Or go through the series. But yeah, either way, let's continue on and talk about and read through chapter 38. When the upheaval was over, 2 out of the 4 primeval gods disappeared. Because their influence on the world was so big, some people say that their disappearance was the upheaval itself. It was doubtless that problems would arouse in any way in the world where would arise, I'm assuming, in any way in the world where anywhere in the world maybe. Again, this is messy. It was doubtless that problems would arise in anywhere in the world where the strongest mediators had disappeared. That's why Vishnu, one of the primeval gods who went missing, decided to confine the gods and Suras in different realms before they disappeared. The gods' realm was desolate, but gods didn't have any problem living in such a place, so they had no objections to Vishnu's decision. The humans were given the most beautiful and abundant world where they lived without any interference from the gods, thanking Vishnu for this. But the circumstances given to the Suras were not as pleasant. And then, chapter 38, the past I yearn for 3. Listen carefully. The low-level Suras were left in the human realm, but the high-level Suras must live in the Shura realm. As you know, the toxicity of the Shura realm is fatal to our Gandharva tribe. The Gnostikas will be fine, but the rest won't be able to use their regeneration skills. So, unless you want to die, I'd suggest that you stay in the area I have purified. This is the only region that has ground made of ice, so the boundaries should be clear. Any questions? What? We have to live here? Damn it, screw this. This isn't even a pond, let alone an ocean. I feel like I'm going to get sun-dried. So again, it must be sea creatures from these statements. Hey Gandharva, is this all we get after you being friends with Vishnu? My child is only in the first stage. No matter how much you purify the place, you'll still suffer. The Gandharva tribe cannot live without the ocean. Make us an ocean. Yeah, Gandharva must be able to make an ocean in the Shura realm. Yes, Gandharva, make us an ocean, and they're chanting for an ocean. Punching each of them should shut them up. Gandharva, I'll go talk to them, so go to Shakuntala. Oh, thanks, you're the best, Makara. Everyone, the Shura realm is much more different from the human realm. This place isn't suitable for an ocean. If Gandharva pushes himself to make an ocean, he may even die. And then, yay, Shaka! He's just running off in the background comedically. Makara, Gandharva tribe, Gnostika. Okay, so he isn't the only one. There are multiple Gnostikas in the tribe then. Unless that's his wife, but I didn't think that's what his wife looked like. I thought that it was only the original member of the tribe that the tribe was named after that was the Gnostika, but apparently there are more than one. Of course, I'd be happy if he dies, or if he dies because I'll become the king then, but I don't think you'll like that. Of course we won't. Thinking of it just gave me the goosebumps. Then keep your mouths shut. Gandharva's making sacrifices for your sakes. Sacrifices? I see, making sacrifices for us. For us, that's BS. We know it's all for Shakuntala. He's making it up. And we have Urvasi, Gantarva tribe Gnostica. So there are like many multiples of them. But surely young Rakshasas are going to have a hard time, even if we have this area. They were classified as high-class Suras when they're still weak just because they're Rakshasa. Oh, come to think of it, we have a young Rakshasa as well. And we have Marana, Oppa. And then Oppa is a female calls an older male Oppa. Okay. Shakuntala, age 3 question marks. Gantarva tribe Rakshasa, 4th stage of development. Hey, being in the 3rd stage doesn't mean you're young. She's getting more and more annoying as she gets older. And we have Marana now with 4 question marks. Garuda tribe Rakshasa, 3rd stage of development. You're still a kid. Just because you're in the 4th stage doesn't mean you can act like some old hag. Oops, my hand slipped. And then freaking Gantarva coming in. Sweetie, are you okay? Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, what a relief. I was worried that you might have some problems since you're sensitive to the toxin. The air is poisonous and the gravity's much stronger here. If my sweet daughter was having a hard time, I was going to make an ocean, even if it's not an easy thing for me. Just hearing you say that makes me happy. But don't worry, I'm okay. After all, I'm your daughter, and I'm already in the 4th stage. This is interesting, too, because I mentioned not expecting to see Kubera so early, like the god Kubera, but also the fact that we're seeing so much of Shakuntala so early, I wasn't expecting either. Yeah, Gantarva, she's much better than that slow boy who's been in that stage for over 1,000 years now. I've never seen someone so slow in my whole life. Kids who develop unusually fast like Shakuntala must have some sort of defect. Defect. Do you want to die, you little runt? Let's go, Shakuntala. Daddy, I'll be helping out those who are injured. Oh, you're going to treat them? What an angel you are. Don't work too hard. And then we have her shuddering as she walks away. Gantarva, the king of the Ananta tribe requests to see you. Tell him to get lost. He says that he'll kill me and come in anyway. Okay? Okay, sorry. I was making sure that she called him Gantarva. I didn't remember. I was like, wait, did she call him father? But no, she just said Gantarva. Do all snakes have no manners? It wasn't so bad when when Ananta was the king, but it's been terrible ever since you became the king, Manasveen. And that thing following you around pisses me off too. Wait here for a second, Sagara. Okay, and we have Manashveen, Ananta tribe Gnostica, and Sagara, Ananta tribe Gnostica. So we can assume that they're snakes then from what he said. I apologize for coming to see you without any prior notice, but Gantarva, you're also rude to be laying like that in the presence of another king. Hey, I think you've got something mistaken. This is my territory. This isn't a place where the king of snakes can talk about manners. Whoa, calm down. Our tribes may not have the best of relationships, but I'm sure we can have a conversation, right? And right now, I don't think you have enough power to be a threat to me. I know everything. That the Gantarva tribe is sensitive to poisons, and that you're using all of your power to purify the area. Your power's fallen below the average power of Gnostica, and you're only king by name. The real king is Makara, right? So what? This is only temporary, so I'm wondering, how they would even survive without Gantarva there to purify it for them. Vishnu said he would make us an ocean, and that he would tell the other gods about it before he leaves. Yes, Vishnu has the power to command other gods. But Gantarva, you forgot something important. Your close friend Vishnu is no longer around. So even if Vishnu may have ordered another god, there's no guarantee that it will be carried out. In order to make an ocean here, we'll need Varuna, the god of water, who's one of the 5th Zen gods. Okay, so they're using 5th Zen now, in the translation. So, one of the 5th Zen gods, and Varuna's water. Okay, gotta try to commit that to memory. But as you know, Varuna's the god who's killed the largest number of Shura. Do you really think she'll make an ocean for you? Just by the fact that she hasn't shown up yet? So what? Are you saying that you have a better idea? Yes. Do you want to hear it? So I guess maybe he was deceived and betrayed, and maybe that's how he ended up in the human realm. You maniac, have you lost your mind? You think I would accept such a proposal? How unexpected. I thought you would accept my offer considering the state you're in. In this condition, or in any condition, I'll never accept it. Why don't you go to your insect friends instead? Ah, of course I went to the Ashura tribe first, so Ashura are insects, since we are allies. So, the gods, elements, the Shura, animals. He was interested, but ended up refusing. Sorry, Manashvin. I like the idea, and it looks fun, but the method isn't my style. That's what he said. Then change the method and go back to Ashura. Gantarva, the plan is only possible if we use this method. I can't change the... That's enough, Manashvin. He isn't going to accept the offer. I've already told you the Gantarva tribe is on good terms with the Garuda tribe, so of course they won't side with us. Let's go to Airavata. Yes, we should do that. Gantarva, it's a shame, but I'll be on my way. By the way, I saw your daughter on the way here, but she seemed to be having a hard time handling the toxicity. I don't know if she was born sensitive to the poison, but she was suffering in the place where younger kids seem to be just fine. I guess you didn't know, but she seems to have been healing herself to keep you from worrying. Poison is the Ananta tribe's specialty, so I noticed it right away. I just wanted to let you know. And then, how long would she be able to survive in the Shura realm without me? Again, all of this in the story so far is just, it makes me feel for the Shura. It makes me very sympathetic towards them over the humans or gods, you know? It's a one-way gate, because like from the very start, they were just kind of put in a situation where they were screwed. When someone enters from one side, no one can enter from the opposite side until the person is fully passed through. Okay, just trying to take in that statement. Okay, so you're saying that no one can come through from the other side until I get there. The opposite can occur as well. If something does come through, it'll be at most 1 or 2 Shuras. If you've opened the gate where I told you, there's no reason for a big group of Shuras to be there. And again, I wonder if this is maybe more of a betrayal, if the snakes, if the Ananta are trying to cross over into the human world from this. Once I go through, I'll transform into Shura form and look for the Gnostikas from the Gantarva clan. All I need to do is find Makara, since Makara will know for sure. And then, Shakuntala, soon. And then, you bastard, how could you deceive me so shamelessly? Was this your plan from the start? I have no idea what you're talking about. I opened the gate exactly where you told me to, on the largest scale I could. I did what I promised. Is there any problem? You opened it where I told you to? Are you kidding me? Are you saying that you opened the gate at the right place and that kid just happened to be passing by coincidentally? Is it going to be the younger one? I forget their name already. The younger one from the Ananta? Yeah, it is. To be continued. Okay, I'm wondering if I should attempt it, because like my voice is getting a little raspy. I kind of want to end this one here, because I want to be able to record, since I'm doing this and ORV in the same day, I'll do 3 chapters of this and 3 chapters of ORV. That way I can, like, the next time I do one of these read-throughs, maybe, I don't know, next Friday-ish, who knows, like a week from now maybe, I'll do 4 chapters. That way I'll just do this video and focus on this video for that day. But since I'm doing 2, I'll do a little bit of a shorter one. So yeah, I'll end it here. And I say a little bit of a shorter one, as if this isn't probably going to be like, what, going on 45 minutes. Really good 3 chapters. I'm loving Kubera. Kubera's been so good. And not only has it been so good, I feel like in just these 3 chapters, we learned so much more about the world and the characters, not in a general sense as we've been learning about it before, where I feel like, again, things have been a little bit more just focusing on the characters and their interactions and stuff, and we haven't gotten as much world building. We've been focused in on the characters, but with this, I feel like we've gotten a lot more like concrete explanations of things, and I think it's really, really cool. I like the way we're learning more about the different tribes of the Shura and which animals they are. We're learning more about like which elements the gods are, and more about the gods in general, about the primeval gods. Really, 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 really cool. And of course, we're now getting like I'm still not 100,000,000%. And again, don't spoil me if it hasn't been in the series yet. Not 100,000,000% on how like the genealogy of the Shuras goes. But I'm still fine with that because like I feel like we have like 500 more chapters for that to be explained over the course of those 500 chapters. And then it makes me wonder how the gods work as well in that sense. Since there are 5th Sen gods, you would assume that there are lower tier gods. But I guess that's it for this time around. I really thought these 3 chapters were great. We got a little bit of the stuff with Lise. I keep wanting to call her Kubera, with Lise and with Asha. We got a little bit of that stuff, but so much of this was really good Gandharva stuff. And like I mentioned before, Marn is great. I am interested to learn more about the gold Garda that was with him. But Gandharva has just been a really, really, really great character. And again, we're getting a lot more concrete stuff on what's going on. Again, like I mentioned, really getting into things instead of pulling punches and waiting a while to let things play out. We're really getting more into who Kubera is and what Kubera is doing. We're seeing a lot more of Shakuntala. And again, I'm assuming because the one is coming through this way, that means Gandharva is not going to be able to go through to try to find her. So it's still going to be kept a mystery if Shakuntala is still alive or not. And that's interesting. And we get more of an explanation of how the worlds and the separation of worlds happened and how it works. And again, I feel sympathetic toward the Shura over the humans or the gods, because the Shura really just got the rough end of it. And from Gandharva's friend and everything. But yeah, I suppose that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more. Kubera much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you like a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. We can talk there. If you would like to help support the channel on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. Or you can support via joining if you want to do things that way, becoming a channel member, right down below the video. Or super thanks is always a thing. Again, I don't know if that's something I want to promote or not. I mean, it's just one of those things. If you feel like donating to help support the channel financially, you can do it through super thanks, or you can become a member or become a patron. I think, I mean, again, if you want to donate, you can, but it's probably better to become a member or patron just in case I ever decide to do like extra stuff for them. I don't like locking things behind paywalls. I just want what I make to be available for everyone. But if I ever do things there's just an extra thing I throw up for them, then like, you know, you would get that. Or like we do at the end of each video, a shout out on screen for everybody. Thank you to people who are already patrons and members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly. Thank you to Magical Girls, FR Nono, and Huariyun. Thank you to Cherryton student David Langstaff, and thank you to Slayer Candidate SG. All of them have been really great supporting the channel. Thank you to all of you, and thank you to everybody for watching. And like I said, maybe 2-3 more days at the most we'll have the review up, and then not long after that I'll probably do another reaction. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.